What is that?
It's my bone.
God damn it, Cartman! How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison? Holy shit, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Suck My Bad, right here on a litany of different networks, hackerhameen.podbean.com, as well as we're on a bunch of other networks, YouTube, Spotify, everything else. But of course, I'm your host, the most lives on the West Coast, yeah boy, MSG. You follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew_Schaffer. Each and every week, I am joined by my boy, Skip Jackson.
Skip. And we're not alone today. He's back. Guess who it is, ladies and gentlemen? It's a boy.
I'm like herpes. I'm the gift that comes around for life and you never really plan on it.
Yeah, it's that herpes that you like, though.
Yeah, and cool. At least I'm likable.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another edition, as we mentioned, of Suck My Balls. If you listened to part one, this is part two of Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. And where we left off in the end of the last episode was the boys were just trying to get the Cartman just got the V chip put inside of his brain. And we kind of skipped over a couple things because we wanted to go ahead and give you the outro song of the Law Resistance. But we would be remiss if we didn't mention a couple different scenes that happened before this. It was pretty good. So let's talk about the very first thing that just happened. As you heard from the intro, what would Brian Boy Tano do? That's when they decided, you know what? We need to kind of get together ourselves as the kids because our parents aren't going to listen to us. And we need to form our own political activist group to save Terrance and Phillip. And of course, the ultimate question being, what would Brian Boy Tano do? Well, when Brian Boy Tano was, fighting grizzly bears, he used his fire breath to save the maiden fair, so everything was going down in that song. When Brian Boy Tano, he doesn't take shit from anybody. And that's the bottom line, guys. That's
stud, and he's bullshit. He doesn't take shit from no one.
And he'd kick an ass or two.
Yeah, the song, hello? Who are you? I'm Brian Denny. No, not Brian Denny. Get the fuck out of here.
Bye.
Bye. Right, he was doing the bye before the fucking the bye thing. Jiminy Christmas. Well,
bye.
So shortly after that, I guess we end up going to the military scene, I believe is what happens first. Is we've got the the general, right? So he's all like kind of going over what's going to happen at the execution tomorrow night. At the execution of Terrance Phillip at the USSR. Afterwards, we will go into battle with Canada. So they're setting up the war here, Scoop. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts as far as them setting up this war with Canada?
It kind of feels like how they just use any excuse like they do today to fight anybody and to go to war, hide it under something. It's like, but then we're going to do this. It's like,
Right. Joe, what do you think?
Even further beyond just any excuse for war, like when they start talking about the actual operations themselves and their names and everything, probably even more relevant and resonant 21 years later than it was back when it came out. Like, not to get all serious and social commentary, but
well, Scoop likes to do a lot of social commentary on our Instagram on SuckMyBallsPod and on Twitter at SuckMyBallsPod as well. So, if you'd like to have those, we're open to social commentary here. We're South Park. They talked about everything. I think that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm worried about social commentary on this of all shows.
Right. I mean, you're fine.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, but definitely, there was definitely some racial undertones here in this scene as far as how they're setting up, and even so much further when they get into the war. Let's cut to a clip here, guys. So I'm going to bring up when Mr. Garrison and Mr. Mackey, Mr. Garrison and Mr. Mackey and Mr. Hat. They open up this scene here as they're, Mr. Garrison's excited. I'm going to get some fucking poontang.
Yeah.
So let's go into this scene.
I can't wait. I can't
What?
wait for shore leave.
Battalion has a specific code name and mission. Battalion 5, raise your hands. You will be the all-important first attack wave, which we will call Operation Human Shield. Hey, wait a minute. Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy losses. Battalion 14, right, you are Operation Get Behind the Darkies. You will follow Battalion 5 here, and try not to get killed, for God's sake. Are there any questions, men? Yes, soldier.
Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip.
I don't listen to hip hop.
I don't listen to hip hop. You guys, by the way, my bad. I should have said we don't have to be muted for that. We only need to be muted for the songs, but I was already in the middle of the clip, so because it's fine when we talk about it. But yes, Operation Get Behind the Darkies. So racist, but you know what? Like I'm sure
So
that
is the military.
Let's talk about
you
this.
guys are in the military, so why don't you guys break it down?
Tuskegee Airmen. Like there's like the biggest and total like glaring truth that the military is completely racist, and it still is.
Yo, totally. It's completely racist. Friggin', I could totally see an officer, or I was Navy, so I call them khakis. I could totally see a khaki answering, I don't listen to hip hop, when being asked if he knows the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
Like it was funny when I was a teenager. After I got out, it was even funnier. And like I'm fairly sure the only time I ever heard the words, I can't wait for shore leave so I can get some fucking poontang, was when we were making fun of that scene. Oh yeah, I can't wait for some fucking poontang.
Get me some fucking poontang.
I love the look that Mackey's giving him, like, yeah, poontang.
Right, sure, buddy.
Good.
What about you, Scoop? Have you had any iterations of what branch? You were in the Air Force, right?
Yeah.
So did you have any racial undertones, jokes? Did you witness any of that while your time serving in the military? It's would have been like 10 years ago, by the way, guys. We're talking, 10, 12 years ago. Not now.
Yeah. There was just differences in pay, levels of respect. It wasn't until the chief master of the Air Force was an actual black dude did things actually kind of start to change a little bit. That's when I personally kind of noticed it die down just a little bit, where the white man wasn't as, because even at basic, I remember the TI looking at one black kid. This black kid went to Harvard, by the way, and he enlisted to because of 9/11, and but he had tattoos. But the TI even looked at him and he was like, "Oh, what? You felon, can't do nothing with his life. Now he's got to join the military. Well, you're gonna wash up out of here real quick." And that was like the one of the first and only real where it's just like, damn, dude, like if you only knew, like this is a smart ass black dude who went to Harvard, had a huge future, and decided to enlist in the Air Force. What?
Right. And I saw some instances like that in boot camp. And like I said, I know I could see a khaki answering that, but like my actual command, we had a black command master chief, so it was pretty much the same thing. Like you can't really, not that anyone should have, but like they started, if anyone was an asshole like that or a racist or something, they started thinking, well, shit, we really can't do that if the top enlisted on this ship is black. So
yeah,
that command, it was it didn't really happen a lot. I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but it didn't happen a lot. It definitely didn't happen in my shop. My shop was super diverse and all that, but like I'm not going to say it didn't happen either.
Right.
So
no, I get
Right.
that. And we'd be remiss, of course. We're recording this at the end of August, second to last day of August here. Unfortunately, at the young age of 43, actor Chadwick Boseman passed away, who became such a huge cultural figure, I think, for African Americans or just people of color in general. By having someone as an imagery that they can look to in regards to celebrity status or having representation. themselves on the screen.
Yeah.
And you look at some of the roles that even most recently with the Black Panther. I mean, the guy played Jackie Robinson. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Talk about it for a second. Like he was taking, chemo and shit while filming. And if you look at his body, dude, and the way that he maintained shape, dude, let's just like take a second and acknowledge how incredible that actually is in itself to just stay that physically fit while fighting fucking cancer.
Right.
So like, man, that dude is pretty powerful.
Right.
It's such a shame that he's gone.
Wakanda.
Black Panther was great. I love that movie.
Wakanda forever, guys. Well, anyway,
Wakanda forever.
Let's get to some South Park, not to deviate away. There's a funny scene in here in the next point of the scene. He goes where like the computer starts malfunctioning and it starts to break down, and he goes, "God damn it, get Bill Gates in here!" So
fucking Windows 98.
Fucking Windows 98.
You said Windows 98 would be better. It is better.
It is better.
Over 5 billion times.
Boom, blasted. And I think in this current day and age, a lot of people would like to see Bill Gates get blown ahead. Now, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying figuratively speaking, people probably
is he still the richest man in the world? Still?
No, it's Bezos.
Bezos overtook. Okay.
Yeah, it's Bezos is still number 1, despite the divorce settlement that made his wife number 4. Like, you look it up in Forbes, it says source of income, divorce.
Bro, what am I doing moving to Denver when they live here in Seattle? Like, I should be trying to find her.
Right?
Oh,
like, what's up?
Oh, jeez.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? Hey, cake.
Looking for a sugar mama? I'm totally ripped, you guys.
Well, now over the week though, Elon Musk is now number 8.
So he jumped up, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he's now number 8 richest from the 2 billion that Tesla's raised over the past couple months. Jeez. Yeah, dude, Tesla's up like 980%.
Yeah.
I should have bought in a little while ago, but
hey, at least you did. At least you bought in already, right?
Now I got more than 2.5 shares. So.
Nice. That's a bank, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's big. Dude, Monday's gonna be insane.
Oh,
you're gonna get messages from you. I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm rich. Or I'm gonna be like, I'm broke. No, I'm rich. I'm broke. I'm rich.
Great. I can't wait to turn my phone off.
And the friggin' general in that scene said everything us nerds wanted to say to Bill Gates at that time.
Right?
That's kind of what we want to say. I think that's what a lot of people want to say to him now, to be honest.
Right. I mean, Windows 10 isn't anywhere near as bad as 98. 98 was just fucking trash.
Trash. Well, right before this scene, guys, we also have to explain another scene because it was part of this La Resistance song. And it's another great song that honestly, I think this one could have been nominated for an Academy Award, and with Satan up there.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great song.
This is the jam.
Yeah. Yeah. So in this one, if you will, please, gentlemen, mute yourself here, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into this clip here.
Was I the Academy Award nominee you were talking about doing the background singing there, Scoop? Or did you mean like the actual backup singers? Oh.
I fucking love that song. When he goes into the breakdown, living without a care. Without a care. Anyway, yeah, as you can tell, it's a great. I want to live up there. It's a great song.
Oh!
So, unfortunately, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's all you got. You didn't get the song, but you did get me and JV singing there. But yeah, you're not going to get the song. Listen to the podcast, guys. This is one of the very few episodes I will continue to say the podcast is a better episode this week. But if you're watching YouTube, thank you, because I know we look good too. So, that being said,
well, they look good. I don't.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. Well. After that, then we get into the La Resistance song, which you heard at the end of our episode, and that's where they combine all of the songs together. Tomorrow night, we have
our lives will change. Tomorrow night, we'll be entertained. An execution. Tomorrow night. Up there, there's so much room where babies pop and flowers bloom. Tomorrow they're up Tomorrow night up there is dooming, so I will be going soon. Yeah.
Shut your fucking face.
We already did it last week. We don't need to do it again.
All right.
All right, you guys.
Can I finish? I gotta finish. All right. So after that, after they have the meeting, the punch and pie. We mentioned Satan had been torturing Kenny until Saddam Hussein appeared and revealed that he is Satan's lover. when of course Satan's going to discover that their war has started on Earth, he says that with the light that it's been prophesied that he can return to Earth once the blood of these two Canadians, who are by Satan's account innocent, touches American soil. And of course, Saddam made no secret of the fact that he wants to rule Earth. And then Kenny decided to try and help Satan while stopping Saddam so he can go to Carbon. So he goes to Carbon as a ghost to try and get him to stop the executions. All right. Now we're all caught up with all the music and the scenes, and now we're right where we need to be. So now Cartman, after the meeting, we mentioned, them doing their shtick, if you will. The USO starts to begin now at this point. But before the USO starts to begin, the boys are told that they need to go meet Gregory's friend, the mole. Zemo. Because the mole will help him get to, if you will, the stage, and will help them rescue Terrance and Phillip, who are about to be executed in that electric chair. Now, of course, they also then cut to like a PSA to try to get you to join the military.
Basically, an old newsreel propaganda film. Yeah,
an old newsreel. Some of those, if you can catch like some of the real ones, it's pretty big propaganda.
Yeah.
Join Uncle Sam, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks like we showed them crowds again, boys.
Yeah, if you go back and just look at propaganda in general, it can be pretty funny, to be honest.
Daffy Duck blowing up Hitler is great.
Daffy Duck
or was that Donald?
I think it was Donald. Superman beating Hitler.
Had
Captain America. Everybody.
Well, after we had that Law Resistance song, and they're, as far as them all getting ready, now we've got Satan and we kind of glossed over this, but Satan is in bed. He's having he's reading a book that says Saddam is from Mars, and Satan is from Venus. Here, let's go to that clip. And this, I mean, you guys are. You don't have to mute yourself for this one, guys, because I want you to be able to talk, because this is a good clip.
Now that is just not appropriate.
Ah, come on, I'm just fucking with you. It's not real.
Oh, well, that's not appropriate.
Oh! Aha, it's not real either. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Soon the world will belong to me. It's Saddam. He doesn't nurture my emotions. He doesn't nurture my emotions. To communicate. You're right.
Come on, Saddam.
I'm just gonna tell him, Saddam, I'm going to Earth to rule alone.
Leave him. Yeah.
Just all knowing.
Yeah.
Kenny basically not giving a fuck here, and he'll tell Satan what he wants to hear too. I mean, he's a good therapist, if you will. Kenny's always good for a lending ear. And we do, of course, have What Did Kenny Say on this episode, guys. That will be coming up here at the end as we get toward the ending here. We're getting to the big climax here, but after this, as you saw there, as I was closing up the clip there, the military now is, of course, getting ready for this USO show. After he told him that Satan initially agrees, that Saddam does get convinced, though. After this, Saddam's able to convince him, guys.
He can change.
Right. So what happens is the military rolls through town. They're talking about the USO getting set up, and then they go back to Satan and Saddam in hell. And Satan then goes and tells Saddam, "I'm going to go up to Earth without you. You're a horrible person and whatnot." Saddam eventually breaks out into a song and dance.
No, you can't do that.
I'm sorry, but I have to be strong.
Satan, please, give me another chance. I have to go to Earth.
You don't even have respect for me.
Sure I do, guys. Please, just hear me out.
You see, I really matured. I really changed.
And the friggin' picture over their bed just makes me laugh every time. I think it's Dahmer, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Dahmer.
Scoop, this is your first time watching it through. What was your initial thoughts with the Saddam and Satan relationship here. This blatantly homosexual, of course, relationship. And this, of course, came out, 99, 2000? So, like,
99, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, they basically were, like, putting it out there, too. What did you think of this?
I love it. You're just going to continue to be a sandy little butthole.
So, yes, unfortunately, guys, Saddam convinces Satan that he's changed.
Through the power of breakdancing.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the song. It was once he started breaking that, like, Saddam got, like, popped a chub.
Maybe that's what we need right now. Someone to just come out and just, like, breakdance, right? Like, here's the change that we need. And just start breaking. And everyone just like, yeah.
Someone will fucking shoot him. Some fucking racist asshole would fuck this.
I don't like that way he danced. Now, Cletus, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
Hey, he's gonna be it'll be breakdancing. He tried to kick me.
He tried to kill me through his armpits.
And it'll probably happen in Florida because they have a stand ground law. You see that? He went in my circle. This is my circle. He came into my area. I was standing my ground.
I don't know. Looks like the North Midwest is giving Florida a run for its money lately. Fuck.
Right?
All right, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, let's get back into South Park. So, as a result, Satan cannot bring himself to break up with Saddam, and they head for the surface, much to Kenny's annoyance. Now, the USO show begins. So here's the plan. The mole tells the boys this. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the mole because we haven't really introduced the mole at all. And I think for the context of this episode, we have to, the listeners, we don't know who the mole is. Shit. I fucking hit God.
Shit. Christoph?
Meanwhile, as well, I should also mention before we get into this clip, Ike, of course, being Canadian and does not want to go to the internment camps, he's put above in the basement. So that's where Ike.
Shit, we totally forgot about that.
Well, we mentioned we mentioned the internment. Did I say internment camps? Oh, I meant happy camps. Like we brought that up.
Oh yeah, we brought it up in the propaganda film, but it didn't really.
Right. But of course, Ike is hid. So
he'll receive dental care in the best health.
No.
We need to speak with the mole.
I'm sorry, the mole is grounded. He can't come out and play.
What?
He can't come out and play.
Naughty things about God.
Oh, well, can we just talk to him?
Naughty things about God.
All right. Chris?
All right.
Hi, we're gonna go rescue Terrance and Phillip from the USO show. Who said
Shit.
That Gregory kid. He said you could sneak us in. Are you telling me that you intend to break into the USO show, filled with thousands of soldiers, and break out Terrance and Phillip?
I know it.
We want to save Terrance and Phillip and stop the war and stuff.
And
I
stuff.
can't help you. I'm grounded in my room for the next 3 days. So are we.
For the next 3 days.
Why are you grounded? Why?
Why?
God hates me. That's why.
God hates me. That's
He
why.
made my life miserable. So I call him a cocksucking asshole. Then, meet me in the backyard in 5 minutes. Viva la resistance.
Viva la
We're
resistance.
not gonna fucking take any more of it.
Oh God, we're not gonna fucking take any more of this shit.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, and well, I'm not gonna play it later, but there's another part when they get into the USO, and he's like, "Love, do you think my mother loved me when she tried to stick a coat hanger up her vagina and tried to kill me?" And they're like, "Yo, dude, this kid's pretty fucked up."
Oh yeah.
Oh, so that is Zemo. That is Zemo.
Zem.
So Zamol takes them to the USO show, and here's their plan. Okay, the plan is he's going to have the boys, Stan and Kyle, distract the rest of the USO show, people on stage, what's going on. Gregory, in the meantime, will be burying a hole underground up under the stage to get Terrance and Phillip out and then get them to the rendezvous point. And Cartman has one job. His one job is to turn the switch off. So
shut up the power, Cartman.
So he's like, and he tells Cartman, it's, please he's like, shut off the power. And then he's like, oh, okay. He's like, no, shut off the goddamn power. I fucking hate guard dogs. He's like, all right, goddamn, Frenchie. So anyway, so Cartman himself, he has this V chip, as we mentioned, and anytime he cusses now, he's getting shocked.
Could you imagine if that was real though?
So you can't say
Like, I would-
fuck. So you can't say shit.
I would be
you can't
exactly
say
like
my name's Eric Cartman and I'm the fattest fucking piece of shit.
This movie is why I didn't give my dog a shock collar.
Right? Never believed in that shit.
Yeah, but that's a good question. Could this really happen? Could they install V-chips into the next generation of kids to, I don't know, curb some of their attitudes if parents are not willing to be,
Lobotomies.
parents aren't willing to discipline their kids.
That's quite Orwellian, dude.
Well,
I'm not
look at where
saying
we're
it
at.
won't I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying that is quite Orwellian.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
Well,
read the book.
Like,
Yeah.
we got to walk under thermo scanners now. So
In China, they're already doing social credit scores not long before that's here. And what was it, in Wisconsin or somewhere in the Midwest? They made the chip and people volunteer to put that shit in there. And they're like, they walk up to the vending machine and they just buy their fucking drink. I'm like, not today, Satan. Not today.
not doing that.
Not doing
No
that.
way.
I'll go live out in the woods before I do that. That's just me. That's just me, though. I don't know. So while what they decide to do, guys, is the boys decide to go into the U.S. military show, and at first, the USO show was they bring out Winona Ryder. So Winona Ryder comes out. She's like, "Hey, wow, guys, war. I mean, yeah, wow, guys."
And now
So-
for my ping pong.
Now for my famous ping pong ball trick. So the trick, they kind of insinuate a couple things. They insinuate that the ping pong balls are coming out of her vagina. But then at the conclusion of this, the dun dun dun, she's actually holding a ping pong paddle board. So it kind of gives you the illusion, did they just come out of her vagina and then she's hitting them? Or did they just put the paddle in there to throw off the MPAA people so that way they didn't go, ew, the ping pong balls are coming out of the vagina?
Right.
Definitely for that.
Probably for the MPAA, because I thought they even show her actually hitting the last one. There, didn't miss a single one. Oh my god, did you hear what? Oh my god, did you hear what Winona Ryder's doing?
Right, and while that's going on, the military people, Cartman is now circling around the building looking for the switch. He's looking for the switch, and Kenny shows up again, and Kenny shows up to warn him, hey, Saddam Hussein and Satan are coming. Saddam Hussein and Satan are coming? Yeah, they're going to come up if Terrance and Phillip get shot or the blood of the Canadians spill. What? And so he's like, but we're running out of time. You have to go now! And then this freaks out Cartman, so he doesn't turn off the switch. He runs away.
Which Kenny, trying to prevent it from happening, almost actually leads to it
actually does happen. It does happen. That's because of Kenny trying to fuck with them.
Right.
Otherwise, they had it under control. Now, while this is going on, we get into one of the most famous South Park songs of all time. We also get into Matthew Schaefer's 12-year-old Matthew Schaefer's first animation nudity, and of course, it was Big Gay Al. So,
it's Big Gay Al.
Oh yeah,
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
Yes,
super. Thanks for asking.
All things considered, I couldn't be much better, I must say.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all you're going to get right now of the music because, of course, due to copyright reasons, we can't play here on the YouTube. But if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're about to be bedazzled in your eardrums with some Big Gay Al. Yeah, so everything is super when you're gay, as he sings his fabulous song to the boys there. And all of the USO. And yes, you heard at the end, they wanted that encore presentation. Encore, give me one more.
And
anyway,
that was right at the height of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So them popping for that song is just a huge fucking joke in and of itself.
Oh, interesting.
I remember when they were trying to institute a rainbow ribbon. You could still serve, but you had to identify yourself as being gay.
Oh my god. Yeah, thank God I missed that.
That shit didn't happen. It didn't go through. But
Yeah, but like, oh, that would have
could you imagine if that actually happened now?
That would have been horrible.
been fucking terrible.
Then they
Like,
literally would have put the homosexual people on the front line. It would have turned into Operation.
I was gonna say,
stand behind the homos. For God's sake, don't get shot.
I was gonna say, what's next? Putting the yellow patch on the sleeve for the Jews.
And if the homos fail, they get behind the blackface. For God's sake.
And instead of Emancipation Proclamation,
have you heard of the Stonewall riot?
Stonewall riots. So yes, yeah, that would have been crazy. And then of course during during one of the, we'll get there, but you kind of alluded to that. Protect our planes and tanks. So bad.
It is. It's
protect our planes and tanks too.
If the plane gets hit, it's fucking hit anyway.
I don't understand why they needed to put the people there. We need the Rainier Wolfcastle. That's the joke gif, but
that's the joke. That's the joke. You suck, McBain.
Did you ever notice how men always leave the toilet seat up? That's the joke. You suck, McBain. Now, my Woody Allen impression. I'm a neurotic nerd who likes to sleep with little girls.
Hey, that really sucked.
Right? So as we mentioned, Cartman ran away without turning off the power, causing the mole, unfortunately. He does dig the hole. He gets up on stage, but because Cartman didn't turn off the power, the alarm goes off. And what happens? Well, guard dogs go after him. Shit! I fucking hate guard dogs.
Shit! Fucking guard dogs! Shit!
Fucking guard dogs! Shit!
So Kyle and Stan desperately try to run the stage to prevent the execution, but unfortunately, Kyle cannot bring himself to stand up to his mom, and Sheila orders to start it. Now, before it can start, though, before this happened, the mole makes his way back down the hole, and he goes, "Who didn't? Did you not turn on the power?" And Cartman's like, "Yeah, my bad." And well, unfortunately, the mole is killed due to the guard dogs. So, but as he dies, he does sing like a really nice song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a nice homage to the La Resistance song. It is. I think they call it a reprise or something if you're gonna like break down musical theater like that. Again, right. I'll turn in my man card at the end of the episode.
That's okay. I was a thespian. All right, let's go ahead. We'll go into that clip.
Fucking goddamn shit! The alarms, they went off.
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
Holy, it's so very cold. There is no hope now. You must get out of here.
We can't leave without you.
It's okay. I'm done for.
No, we can't leave without you. We don't know where the hell we are.
Where is your God when you need him? Huh? Where is your beautiful, merciful faggot now? Here I come, God. Here I come, you fucking rat. Now the light she fades, and darkness settles in.
Shit! Right? So
this movie made me want to read Les Miserables, by the way.
Interesting.
Because of all the references.
Well, after that part, I just want to let you know, after that point, I was ready to go join the protests and the riots. I was like, and though I die, La Resistance lives on.
Shit!
Shit! Right? No, we literally don't know where we're at.
No, we...
They didn't even care about it. Right. We don't fucking know where we're at.
Shit! Yeah, sorry about that.
Shit! Fucking hate guard dogs.
So unfortunately now at this point in time, Kyle and Stan now are desperately running to the stage to prevent the execution. And Stan tells Kyle, dude, you got to talk to your mom. Unfortunately, Kyle, being pussy that he is here, cannot bring himself to stand up to his mom. And then Sheila's like, pull the switch, Mr. Garrison.
Throw the switch, Mr. Garrison.
Wait a minute. Hey, I'm supposed to be anonymous. So before it can like fully start, well, actually, no, they flip the switch.
And Mr. Hat has an executioner's hood too.
Right. So, but before it can actually start, or I mean, they start the execution, it goes off. Unfortunately, it's the execution is stalled as the Canadians launched a surprise attack. Now Cartman does rush to turn off the electric chair and save Terrance and Phillip, and he receives a mild jolt that does cause the V-chip to malfunction. Now the Americans, of course, and Canadians are battling each other. Terrance goes, "Hey, that little fat kid saved us." Stan and Kyle are trying to run after Terrance and Phillip. They're like, "We have to get you to the rendezvous." But then a bomb goes off, and you see some splash damage. They go flying, and Stan goes flying face first into a puddle, while not also knocking him unconscious. While he's knocked out, Kyle and Cartman are running around, and Kyle's like, "Dude, fuck this, let's get out of here." And Cartman's like, "You don't have to tell me twice." So they're running through the field, and they find Mr. Garrison, and Mr. Garrison's like, "Here, take Mr. Hat, get him out of here." And then later on, after this, like there's a bomb that Cartman goes, "What the hell?" Or no, he goes, "Kyle, all those times that I said you weren't a Jew, I didn't mean it. You're not a Jew." No, Cartman, I am a Jew. Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself, Kyle. And he goes, "What the hell am I hanging on to this for?" And then he throws Mr. Hat. You hear Mr. Garrison in the background, "Mr. Hat, no!" Oh man. Oh, this is great.
So is this where Mr. Hat goes missing?
I believe so.
Yes, yeah, and we'll see, and we'll explain that here. Yes, but this is actually the reason why Mr. Hat actually leaves the show. So after that explosion happens, Stan is knocked unconscious. Now he has like a dream, and in his dream he encounters the clitoris, a giant clitoris. Now, he finds out that this clitoris is all-knowing entity, resenting, of course, a gigantic disembodied version of the anatomy part. The clitoris tells him to save Terrance and Phillip, and he goes, "Hold on, dude. I've been looking for you this whole time, and you're going to tell me right now how I get Wendy to like me." And Wendy's like, "Dude, you just have to be confident. Chicks love confidence." Which she's not wrong. And then he wakes up, and he wakes up to Gregory and Wendy and all of them. "I see that you have failed in your mission. I should not have sent a boy to do a man's job." And then Stan's like, "Come on, everybody." So he takes the Law Resistance crew with them. Meanwhile, Sheila, watching the war, still convinced that Mac was doing the right thing. But the other members angrily saying that this has gone too far. Like, we have to go save our kids before they get killed. And then Terrance and Phillip are trying. They're like walking through the bomb field, and they're like, "Hey, Phillip, I just farted." "Oh, you did?" So they're still cutting off fart jokes as their life is on the line here. Terrance and Phillip are trying to escape, but the American forces and Sheila corner them. Just as they are about to be killed, Stan, Kyle, and the rest of Law Resistance show up, and Kyle stands right in front of him and of Terrance and Phillip and goes, "No, Mom, I'm not going to let you kill him." And then he goes into one of his, "I learned something today" type of speeches, and says that Stan says it's more than about fart jokes. It's about freedom of speech and censorship. And then Kyle says to his mom that, "Did you forget that your own son is Canadian?" And this kind of shocks the troops, if you will. And then says, I don't want a mom that's going to go off and fight a war and fighting all these battles. That, he just wants him to be his mom, and that she shouldn't blame Canada because it's his fault. He saw the movie. And then, of course, the American forces, seeing that Kyle has a point, they start crying. Poor little feller. He's supposed to be with his mom. Poor little feller.
No!
Right, Sheila, refusing to admit any wrongdoings, shoots Terrance and Phillip anyway, much to Kyle's shock and horror. And then as soon as that blood touches the ground, Saddam and Satan bust out of hell, breaking havoc. Chef at one point, good job, Mrs. Bradflowski. Thanks. Because American forces try to kill Saddam at first, and he just starts laughing. Right? His body being bulletproof and being dead, right? And Stan is quickly pushed aside by Saddam, who makes everyone, including the Canadian and American forces, bow down to him. And then, but unfortunately, Stan shows up, and he's like, "Now, bow down to me, yes."
Saddam,
Right?
Saddam, can we talk?
Right, and then Kenny insists of him coming out of hell with Saddam. He insists to Satan that now is the time to stand up to Saddam, but Satan can't bring himself to do so. So then Saddam orders a big statue, and he goes, "Go ahead and set up a big statue exactly where that fat kid is standing." And then
Who you kind of fat? Sorry,
right, and that's where his V chip starts to go off. So, guys, of course, we're going to show you this clip. This clip is all going to be on YouTube, and it will be here on the audio because this is the height of Cartman right here. I mean, this is the epitome of Cartman himself here.
Barbara
Streisand!
I love that Barbara Streisand is the ultimate.
It's the
swear.
ultimate, yeah.
What are you waiting for, bitch? Destroy him! Come on, you wick stupid cum bucket, save me!
That's it. I have had enough of you!
Relax.
Relax, guys. Relax. He's saying it as he's dying.
Yeah.
But as we'll find out later, Saddam Hussein's not dead because where's he going to go? Detroit?
Detroit. I was just gonna ask.
Where's he gonna go? Detroit? Am I gonna go? Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. So yes, Saddam finally brings himself and he kills him. And Saddam, or if you will, he's dead from this movie. So Satan now thanks Kenny for his help, and he offers him one wish. And Kenny, despite the chance to come back to life, wishes for everything to return to how it was before the war. Much to the army and the boys' surprise, Satan grants his wish, and then he returns to hell. But as he leaves, he finds Mr. Garrison. Hi, how are you? Would you like to come with me?
Oh yeah, he finds Mr. Hat.
Would you like to come with me to hell? Well, sure. We could be real pals.
Sure, Mr. Satan, I'd like that.
We could be real pals. So Kenny then takes down his hood for the first time, says goodbye, everyone, and disappears. That's our first time we see Kenny ever. Everything then returns to normal. Sheila apologizes to Kyle for not paying attention to him after Kyle explained that Cartman had saved everybody and decided to end her anti-Canadian protest for good. Wendy, of course, kisses Stan. He actually throws up, but she's okay with it. And then Wendy admits that she never liked Gregory, much to Stan's delight. No, fuck Gregory. Fuck him right in the ear hole. Thank you, clitoris. That's what Stan goes. Thank you, clitoris. Kyle even mentions to his mom, you see, Mom, it was all because of Cartman's filthy fucking mouth that saved us all. And then, of course, they go into the ending song, just like the beginning. Now, a very long song, the Mountain Town Reprise song. And at the end of this number, the boys appear to see a meteor shower shooting from the ground. And Kenny is finally going up to heaven, where he is met with boobies and titties.
Boobies.
And that will be our outro song for this episode as the Mountain Town to end episode. But ladies and gentlemen, that was it. Now I want to ask you this, Scoop, did you stick around
For
watch the end?
Watching I Eat the Rat? Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Okay, now for those who might not have seen it, this is not available on VHS, or I'm sorry, it's only available on VHS now. They don't actually produce this scene anymore. I don't even think it's available on the DVD. So what we're going to do is we're going to go full screen here so the viewers can at least see it. If you've never seen it here, then this will be your opportunity to check out this ending scene.
I never thought a man could eat so many.
Guys up there is hold it.
So there you go. That's him eating that rat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut review of the movie itself. Stick around now, because we're going to get into our next segment. And that segment is some trivia. We're going to wait on what did Kenny say here. I gotta bring up the music. Let's go ahead and get into our trivia and pop culture here. Now, there's a lot, guys. So here's what I'd like to do. I don't want to make us read all of it. I feel like there was some stuff in here that we kind of talked about already in the movie. Mm-hmm. But Ian, if you could go ahead and start us off here, why don't you read like the first 4 or 5 while I get the music queued up for the next segment?
Let's see. The plot for season 1, episode Death foreshadows the film's plot, Mothers Against Canada. If you didn't, do you remember that? That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that episode, Joe, like earlier from the season, from like season 1?
Yeah.
where they're setting up the plot for. This was technically that was like their primer episode, if you will, for trying to get rid of Terrance Phillip when they're slinging themselves up against the fucking side of the building.
Yep.
But that's not what gets them. It's them shitting from the. Looks like I got a case of the mud butts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. Instead of protesting, just start taking shits everywhere.
Oh my god.
That would
Bro.
I might do it actually.
I'll
that would
shit
get
on
shit done.
Can I shit on a mayor's desk like Cartman did Garrison's? What's up, bro? What's up?
Yeah,
Can't tell you that, Dad. Can't tell you that.
Somebody's got some green apple splatters today. When the main mothers are singing about their boys and blame Canada, Kyle's the only one of the 4 main boys not to be mentioned.
Yeah, because it was never about the boys to Sheila.
And like her own son's fucking Canadian.
Yeah. Which, I mean, points out the hypocrisy of so many things. That's another like nice subtle kind of fuck you to most people.
This is the first out of 4 times women's breasts are actually seen, when the second being Babe's boobs destroys society, the third in Major Boobage, and the fourth in South Park, The Stick of Truth. Despite the large cast in this film, Tweak does not appear.
Right, and he was just... But, like, he had only just been introduced to this series the episode prior to the movie, the Tweak and Craig thing. The Tweak versus Craig fight. So, like, maybe it was something that they hadn't even come up with the character. Or maybe it was just something they spaced because they were so fucking cooked by the end of the process.
Well, they were. I didn't have something
established character yet, or they just didn't have his story yet. Maybe they just had his character. Like you notice how they've introduced, like they'll put somebody there, and when they're not sure how that character is going to interact with them, leave them there silent for a little while.
Yeah, like Craig and Clyde, and yeah.
So I think at this point,
what I was going to say is that I do know, since you're talking about new characters, that I don't know if I wrote it down there in the trivia and everything, but I read somewhere, or was an interview with Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and they said the biggest regret from this movie was that they didn't include more of Butters. They had wished that Butters had more of a pivotal role in this, because Butters ended up becoming such a pivotal role itself. Yeah. And he's there in the movie. Now, he hasn't gotten his own episode yet, because we haven't reviewed Butters' very own episode.
That's not until season 5, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't really become a mainstream character until the 5th season. So, but they said they wish they had done something more with Butters in this movie.
Happy anniversary from everyone at Bennigan's.
All right, I'll read some of the next ones here. The colors in the movie are a lot darker than in the TV series, and this is possibly due to low film / Teleson quality. I don't know if you noticed that. You mentioned you thought the voices were a little bit different too, Scoop, and I just think they were probably working with better equipment.
That's why I thought it was darker, because they were working with better equipment because they had a bigger budget or something. I didn't realize it was because of lower quality.
Gotcha. Yeah, me too. I'm going to skip this next one, go to the Jesus one. Jesus is seen 3 times in this film. First being in the crowd pan in the briefing room to the left of Officer Barbrady. I saw that. In the army, when they're walking through the streets, it's so weird to see Jesus in the army.
Yeah.
And then before Kyle hides in the attic, and then finally right at the back of the crowd scene at the end. By the way, Saddam Hussein's there, and Jesus had already fought him in Jesus versus Saddam earlier. We've reviewed that episode. So why, or Damien, we reviewed it in the Damien episode. So why didn't Jesus fight him? That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
He should have been right there on the front line, right? Now, Saddam Hussein is voiced by Matt Stone, but in the credits, it does say it was voiced by Saddam Hussein himself. That was funny. Like a fucking
yeah, I always popped for that.
That's awesome.
Now, as I did mention this throughout in the first episode, Conan O'Brien does die, but because of how the end of this movie happens with Kenny wishing everything going back to normal, it's possibly that basically everybody is alive, right? Nobody died. Saddam died when he was killed by wild boars at the end of the movie. He dies again when he's impaled by a large spike. However, he is going to be back in season 4 for the Do the Handicap Go to Hell, which we'll get to that one in about a couple months here on the YouTube. And then there is also one more thing about Kenny. Of course, him being the first time you see his face. During the opening song, Kenny wakes up and is in his underwear and is seen from behind. That was actually the first time we saw his hair. However, if you freeze frame it at the point where he zips up his hood, you can see a lock of his hair and his mouth. A little bit of a investigation there for you. You want to read the next one during the scene there, Scoop?
During the scene where everyone is meeting for La Resistance, Francis is seen wearing Clyde Donovan's clothes. The movie was released in between the season 3 episode Tweak vs. the Craig and Sexual Harassment Panda.
This is our next episode.
Sexual harassment
Panda.
Now get into this one. I always thought this was an interesting fact too.
Damien Thorne, a character from the episode of the same name and son of Satan, is seen at the movie theater watching Terrance Phillip Ashes of Fire. When the kids watch it the second time, he is seen sitting on the left of Stan. Originally, Damien was to play as a supporting character, but the idea was ultimately scrapped.
Another weird question, right? Like, you could have had Satan's son in it, you had Jesus in it, and there was no callback to that. That was my only complaint about this movie, is they had made such a pivotal point of giving Jesus the opening, Jesus versus Santa and Jesus versus Frosty, then Jesus versus Satan, and introducing Damien. Pactus Dominus Jesus
Paul.
Pactus Dominus Jesus Paul. So,
do you think they just couldn't come up with a good enough story for this, or maybe it would have dragged on too long? Do you think?
Probably something like that.
I also think that it's fine. I also think that I think that they, which we'll go about here, they talked about having to make a lot of changes due to the MPAA. I wonder if there might have been scenes like with Damien and stuff like that where they would have been considered MPAA, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah.
There is such a thing, of course, it's called the V-chip in real life. It's used on TVs for parents to block content that is intended for mature audiences or contain pornographic. Dude, my parents never used the V-chip. Did you guys' parents ever use the V-chip?
Nope.
They tried.
They tried.
I don't know, but they use parental block on the
parental
TV.
block? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you had to put in a code to unlock the channel.
Yeah, which was basically what the V-chip did too.
Right. I mean, my parents put a code on the pay-per-view, but not on the actual television channels or anything like that.
Right,
you know what I mean? And it was more like I mean, at that point, you could do by rating. So it was like you're blocked from making any MA, R, 14, PG. So when you're a kid, you're like, well, I'll just whatever. I got the movie already on rated G. Now, interesting, in the German version of this film, during the pornographic scene, German fucking changed it to British. They were like, no. It's a British Scheiße. British Scheiße.
Which really kind of surprised me because, like, the Germans usually own that. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're totally liberated. Fuck yeah.
I don't know. They made Funny Bot, and Funny Bot kills everybody. So I don't know.
Awkward.
Now, this was interesting. I found this. The boys seem to be more mild-mannered, like normal kids, before watching The Ashes of Fire. They try to set that up like, oh, what a picture-perfect child, just like Jesus, he's tender and mild, right? Like he's like such this nice little boy, but really they're fucking horrible kids already. So that was a little weird. And then this was interesting. The VH1 special, Trey Parker said that he heard that Stephen Sondheim, a famed musical theater producer and composer, by the way, who makes his later appearance in the Throwdown.
Bro.
I respect you, bro. I respect you,
bro.
Right, bro.
I do respect you, bro.
All right. Bro down is over. Let's bro out. I'm so glad we can put our difference aside, because that's what bros do. That's what bros fucking do. That is what bros do.
Right? And Sondheim was probably cool with that, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah, of course. He thought it was fucking awesome, I bet. When they do positive stuff, like when they did the Cesar Millan, like have you watched the Cesar Millan?
Oh my God, yes.
episode.
No, I have to watch that now.
Oh yeah, he watches there's a video of a 25-minute video of him watching his own episode, and he loves it. He's like, man, they got everything right. They got my hair, they got my clothes. He's in love with it. He loved the episode.
That's fantastic. John Edward probably fucking hates it.
Oh, John, biggest douche of the world. Yes, you are the biggest douche. One of the band episodes, which we will review here, guys. That is season 5, episode number 2, Super Best Friends.
Yes. That's the one where he does a line, isn't it?
Who?
Is that the one where Buddha does a line?
Yes. Buddha, can you not do a line in front of the kids?
Sorry.
As we mentioned, we played there. I'm going to skip this next one, but as we mentioned, at the end of VHS version of the film, Ike says, "Guys out there is herded and eats a rat." And there's a quick shot of the movie theater playing "Ass is a Fire" with the doors opening, the boys leaving. No audio is heard on that part, and only brief clips. That shot is removed from the DVD. This was ranked at Time Magazine's number 6 in the 25 all-time best animated films. But this movie made the 2001 Guinness World of Records for having approximately 399 swear words and more than 400 offensive gestures. And
Fuck
this,
you, Scarface.
right? And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, which I like that South Park did this too. This was the last time we see Stan throw up around Wendy until like for another 10 years. So I like that he got over his throw up here at the end of that movie by getting his confidence, right?
I can
Like
relate.
that?
No, I like it. I'm just saying I can relate with Stan, and like it's just unfortunate that little bastard got his confidence before I got mine.
Yeah.
That one hits close to home.
And then a couple last things here so we can move on to the What Did Kenny Say is this was the highest grossing animated feature film with a rated R movie up until 2016, up until 4 years ago with Seth Rogen's Sausage Party, which, by the way, I mean, Sausage Party is not bad, but it's not better than South Park.
No, but I mean, it just happened to make more money.
Yep.
That's all.
I mean, I will say there's some fucking hilarious parts in Sausage Party. Like when the dude is tripping on drugs and that's when they start talking to him. That was great. And when they're all having sex with each other in the supermarket, that's the whole point is the hot dog wants to fuck the bun.
Yeah. Like I enjoyed the movie. It's good stoner comedy. I just can't believe it made more money than South Park.
Right.
I wonder if adjusted for inflation, that still holds true.
Interesting. I don't know. Would have to look into that further. But this was the last theatrical film movie to release. Sorry, this was the last animated theatrical feature film to be released on an adult animated show up until Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I actually remember this next bit as a kid. On July 3rd, 2003, Comedy Central was given permission to air this movie completely uncensored. Guys, that's how I watched this movie. I watched this movie at 13 in the middle of the night. On midnight, and it was uncensored. So that was my first viewing of this movie. Obviously, I was only 13, so my parents wouldn't take me to see the movie. Right. And they wouldn't even let me watch South Park. I was having to stay up late, use my TiVo, and then delete it immediately after.
Right.
So
and like Comedy Central after this started using that slot once every few months or so to start playing stuff uncensored. Like they played Eddie Murphy shit uncensored after that at some point. And
yep.
Yeah. Like,
it's very true. It definitely, this movie set the precedence for letting Comedy Central play
whatever
uncensored content in the middle of the night, which is nice. Cause even now, like I'll still go back, like I'm at work in the middle of the night and I'll turn it on. I'm like, yeah, uncensored.
Right.
Right. So, all right. Well, we have held off long enough, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Scoop, are you ready for 1, 2, 3? What did Kenny say? Yeah! What did Kenny say? All right,
that's my first time hearing that. That's pretty jaunty. I enjoy it.
It's uncopyrighted game show music used by multiple people including being the elite. I heard it like a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, I used that track. So yes, what did Kenny say? It starts off with Stan saying, dude, wake up. And Kenny says, he says, coming. Right. And Stan says, Kenny, the Terrance Phillip movie's coming out. You want to come? And Kenny says, yeah, dude, come on, let's go. And then Mrs. McCormick appears at the door and says, where do you think you're going? He said, to the new Terrance and Phillip movie. Mrs. McCormick says, you can't. You have to go to church.
But Mom, I want to see this movie.
Right?
Here's some foreshadowing too, right here.
It is definitely some foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Mom, I want to see this movie. And Mrs. McCormick says, well, fine. You go ahead, Miss Church. And then when you die and go to hell, you can just answer to Satan. Okay. And then they're singing. And Stan goes, you can see your breath hanging in the air. You see a homeless person, but you just don't care to see your smiles in which we'd be glad to drown. Don't you know it's like a perfect winter day? And then I'm glad to say that's right. And that's Kenny's part.
Yep.
And then after we got that part, Cartman joins them. And they're singing some more here because they when they get to the end of the song, they say, that's right. It's Sunday morning, a quiet little redneck mountain. Kenny, U.S.A. So he sings before that.
Right.
So that was his next line, if you will. And then after that, here, let's see. We then go into the school classroom here, where we don't need to go over that one again, guys. I think you know what he says. He says, fuck. He says fuck. So, and they get sent to the principal's office. After that part here, we then moved on. Scoop, what was the next thing that Kenny said here?
So when he's talking to Cartman, Cartman says, yeah, but you know, that whole part about lighting farts is bullshit. You can't do that. And Kenny's saying, yeah, you can. No way. Yes, you can. You too can light a fart on fire. Okay, Kenny, I'll bet you $100 you can't light a fart on fire. Yes, you can. Check it out. When he pulls out a match and lights his fart on fire, and then when he dies.
What?
Holy shit, dude!
Oh my god, this stick is on fire.
Fucking Cartman. So Kenny dies, and then
after holy shit, dude.
Well, hold on. Kenny dies.
Oh, I thought he said it when he got burned too.
Right, but not yet. We're not there. Basically, he dies, and I'm sorry, he's burning on fire. Then the ambulance, the salt, as we mentioned, crashed in. We covered it. Then we go into the hospital's office, and the doctor goes, "Damn it! I'm not going to lose this kid. Close him up. We've done all we can. The rest is up to God." And then as Kenny's slowly coming through, he goes, "Kenny, can you hear me?" And he goes, "Oh, holy shit, dude!" And the doctor goes, "How you feeling, son?" He's like, "A sick animal." He says, "Great, son. I've got some bad news for you. We've accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. You have about 3 seconds to live." What? Boom. Kenny dies.
Explodes.
And then that's, of course, when they say, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny. You bastards." Oh man. Okay.
Holy
so
shit, dude.
Right. So then we get the song. Kenny goes to hell. He goes, "What the hell?" As Satan drops in next to him. He goes, "Fallen one, I am Satan. I am your God now." And then Kenny screams, "Oh my God!" Runs away. And Satan says, "There is no excuse. Now feel the delightful pain." And then as Kenny is, getting pulled apart, "Ow, that hurts," he says. Saddam shows up and goes, "Hey, Satan, did you hear the news? What just broke out up on Earth? Meet Saddam Hussein, my partner in evil." And Kenny goes, "Huh?" "If I was saying, you're hogging out of pad. Yeah, man, this is getting me so hot."
Hey, what the fuck?
Right? Kenny's like, "What the fuck is going on?" So after that, Cartman or Kenny then goes up to Earth, where Cartman is sleeping. He goes, "Hey, dude," as he comes out under the covers, and Kenny's spooky ghost. He goes, "You can't be afraid."
Spooky ghost.
He goes, "What's the matter? You can't be afraid of me." And Cartman goes, "Kenny, is that you?" And he goes, "Yes, it's Satan. He's coming right now. Satan is coming here. That's right. He's going to bring Saddam Hussein with him." So unfortunately, freaked out Cartman, and Cartman was like, "Ah!" And his mom comes in, and he's like, "Mom, I think Kenny's all pissed out at me because I bet him $100. He let his fart out fire."
Oh shit!
Because Kenny's like, that's right. They're both going to come right now. And then as he screams, and then later on, outside in the hall, Satan is sobbing. Kenny appears and he wakes up to him and he goes, what's wrong? And Satan goes, ha ha ha. Soon the world will belong to me. And then Kenny says, well, no, what's wrong, dude? And he breaks it down and says, it's Saddam. He doesn't nurture my emotions. He just wants sex. You can't learn to communicate. Kenny says, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just fucking leave him? And Satan says, you're right. I should leave him. I am going to tell him. Saddam, I'm going to earth and rule alone. I'm strong and I don't need him. Kenny's like, good for you. And then we go later on. Kenny says, Cartman, can you deliver a message for me, please? When Cartman's trying to shut off the switch. And Cartman turns around. Kenny presents himself, seems to tell Cartman that time is running out. Son of a gun. Kenny says, just tell them that they're coming right now. And Cartman's like, they're coming? And Kenny's like, yes, they're coming right now. They're coming. And Cartman's like, but our moms won't listen to us. And Kenny's like, I'm telling you the last time they're coming. And he freaks out. And then, as we mentioned at the end, Kenny says for his final wish after the war ends, and he says, I wish that everything would go back to the way it was. And now this was kind of a spoof on them. If you dude, I've looked up 10 different scripts for this line. They purposely put this in the script where it goes, I know, but I learned something today. In the end, and I knew I had to do it for all the lives in the world. So they purposely muffled it. There is no lines there. So, ladies and gentlemen, Scoop, that's what Kenny said. All right, guys. So that's what Kenny said here. And we're going to wrap. That was a lot. I know. That's a big movie, guys. A big movie. It's a big movie. It's a big. Now I'm going to quickly go through some pop culture here. They talked about Star Trek. They talked about the V-chip and the Dragon Ball Z during the fight scene. Kenny is taken to the hospital, and they referenced doctor shows, if you will.
ER, yeah.
Barbara Streisand was used as a reference for a swear word. The plot of La Resistance and the boy named the mole is a reference to the musical Les Miserables. Les Miserables. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
Yep.
We are not French. We are America. This is America. Greatest country in the land. Woo!
Freedom fries.
Freedom fries. Many of the musical numbers are many of the musical numbers are melody parodying Disney songs from their films. If you didn't pick that up, by the way. Which is why this is even not mentioned in the 8th draft to the script, where the Mountain Town lyrics are listed. Very happy Disney-esque music scrolls in. And the last bit of pop culture, Kenny McCormick's heart being replaced with a baked potato is a reference to Trey Parker and Matt Stone's earlier movie Cannibal, the musical opening. And it's a Shopadinkle day with the lyric, my heart is as full as a baked potato.
That's awesome.
Right? A couple things here.
Guys.
Couple last things here. Controversy. South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut is one of the most profanity-filled movies ever produced. The film features a song entitled Uncle Fucker in the Terrance Phillip movie that uses the word fuck 27 times. The song title was actually originally going to be called Motherfucker, but it was changed in order to get an R rating instead of the NC-17 rating. As we mentioned, it is often claimed that the film was originally titled South Park All Hell Breaks Loose, and that the MPAA forced a change to the title. However, Trey Stone and Matt Parker counter-proposed South Park Bigger Uncut as a title, which itself is a double entendre. This version of the events comes directly from Parker and Stone. Richard Taylor, a spokesperson from the MPAA, denies that any film was ever submitted to the title and states the MPAA did not reject the use of the word hell in the title. The MPAA did not realize, though, that Bigger, Longer, and Uncut was a double entendre after the release. I don't buy that bullshit. If Matt Stone and Trey Parker said they submitted South Park All Hell Breaks Loose and it was denied, I fucking believe them.
Yeah.
Right. I believe them.
And they probably told him, well, no, it's just a Bigger, Longer, and Uncut episode of the show.
And then they were like, all right.
Good.
Yeah, and then they didn't. And then, like, Matt and Trey are like, we got that one past them fucking assholes.
The movie angered moral conservatives, not only for its heavy use of profanity, but also for its depiction of conservatives starting a war against Canada purely because Terrance and Phillip's use of profanity. However, the underlying theme of this film, however, is that it's the responsibility of the parents and guardians to protect their children from what they deem appropriate, and that censorship of anything, particularly in television and movies, was simply a parental tool for escaping blame, which is why they sing that song before they blame us at the end. Let's go here to the end, guys. Prior to its release, the film was originally assigned a NC-17 rating by the MPAA. Several cuts were made to tone down the profanity, as I mentioned before. However, the film was submitted and screened by the MPAA 6 times before finally getting an R rating. Paramount Pictures originally suggested the film be rated PG-13. They were not having that. And then right after the film was released, the president said that he regretted not assigning the film an NC-17 rating. According to Matt Stone and Trey Parker, each time they resubmitted the film to the MPAA, they added something more explicit than before in order to test the MPAA ratings patience. And the last two things here, politics. The film deals with race relations, as we mentioned, war and censorship. The film clearly opposes censorship as it ultimately Eric Cartman's foul mouth that saves the day. In the film, Kyle's mother, Sheila, starts a campaign to censor a Canadian film called Terrance Phillip, Ashes of Fire, which culminates in a war being waged against Canada by the United States, which is a possible criticism of the perceived over-eagerness of some nations, particularly our own, the United States, to jump to war over unimportant issues. Race relation themes are also touched upon in a sequence in which a group of soldiers designated Operation Human Shield turn out to be entirely black, whereas another troop composed entirely of white soldiers is called Operation Get Behind the Darkies. Funny, but fucked up.
Yeah.
And that is all of your politics, right? I think that's the only thing. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
So that's it, guys. So we kind of went over a lot of our stuff, but to wrap up this episode, Joe, Scoop, I'm gonna bow out of this. I'm gonna let you guys, if you want to talk about your top likes, Mr. JV, since you're our guest, why don't you go ahead and break them down for us?
For sure. My probably 3 biggest likes from the movie. I agree with Sondheim. It was definitely one of the best musicals of that era, stage or movies, because it blew anything Disney did out of the water just with the message it told and the fact that it had like absolutely zero chill, like we said to it earlier. It was just musically speaking, it's just really good as a musical and technically proficient and all that. As I said in the last episode, I will still reference the I farted once on the set of Blue Lagoon anytime someone says something fucking stupid. It's like partially relevant, but and my third thing was quite possibly my favorite song lyric ever is "They may cut your dick in half and serve it to a pig, and though it hurts, you'll laugh and dance a dickless jig." And the fact that it's being sung by an 8-year-old. But yeah, like if I had to pick 3 things, those would probably be the 3.
My top 3 would be how the musical aspect. At first, they're the innocent children. They see this movie, it all changes. And some of the great songs that continue out through the movie.
Right.
Really walking up to that line and dancing on it the way that these Matt and Trey always do. And that, like, one of the things that makes me love their show so much is they walk right up to that line and they dance on it. Whereas they're not making it where they are, but it's like they're showing society in the light that it is. You know what I mean? One of the mole, I wish he would have stayed alive and they could have kept him in further, so he could have stayed in the show and they could have, he could have been a part of the.
Well, technically, he's alive.
Yeah, is he?
He is wished back.
At the end of the movie.
Everything goes back to the way it was before the war.
The mole's not dead, so he could. He has appeared actually in background characters in later episodes. But yeah, they could technically bring him back. They should. They should have brought him back.
They really should. Like anytime they need to insult religion or God again.
And lastly, Cartman getting the chip, and then it ultimately being what saves them in the end, and the whole Barbra Streisand being the ultimate curse. It's just
dog shit taco.
So my top 3 from this movie, I like the opening sequence, the song, and my favorite part is when it kicks into the chorus at the end, when all 4 of them are off to the movies we shall go, where we learn everything that we know, because the movies teach us what our parents don't have time to say, and this movie's gonna make our lives complete. Because Terrance and Phillip are sweet.
Super sweet.
So I like that. That's probably my first one. Second one is I like how they kind of humanize Satan in this show, in this movie. You know, Satan he's depicted pretty much in every form of literature, cartoons as evil. But in the South Park world, they kind of recognize that you can't have good without the evil. And if you were the evil guy, what if you didn't want to be evil? Like, what if you just wanted to be a god? So unfortunately, he's down in hell, but they humanized him a little bit and, you know, kind of made you almost empathize with Satan.
Right? Little love for him.
Right. And then my number one thing from this movie is the Uncle Fucker song. And primarily because what is the last line in that song, Scoop?
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Oh my God. No, Joe. He needs to get this.
What?
That's UNCLE. Fuck you, Uncle Fucker.
Oh, that's right. They spell it out.
No, it's UNCLE. Fuck you, Uncle Fucker. Suck my balls. Come on, man. That's the name of our fucking show. Suck my balls. God, ladies and gentlemen, that was
that they really.
That's the end of the fucking song. It's the end of the song.
Holy shit!
Scoop has embarrassed himself here live on the show. Anyway,
Hey,
so yes.
I'm not high or anything.
Yeah, not at all. So yes, that is how the song ends. It goes UNCLE, fuck you, Uncle Fucker, and then it goes, and then Philip goes, suck my balls, suck my balls. That's the whole premise of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Check Nah. Now, we're not going to give you a top or anything because it's a movie, so there's only one. It's just a great movie. However, we encourage you to send us your thoughts on the movie because, you know, we'd love to hear from you, as well as anytime you'd like to give us feedback on any of the upcoming episodes. You can see what episode we're going to review next based on the current episode that's up. So if you'd like to give us feedback on the next upcoming episode, send us your email to suckmyballspod@gmail.com. Follow us Twitter and on Instagram @suckmyballspod. Like us on Facebook South Park Pod. Follow our sponsors, Hami Media Group and RatSaladReview.com, as well as thebrosters.com, StevieRichards.fitness.com, ZordosOliveOil.com, and the Tech Mean Ride Home Podcast. Joe, where can the weirdos, beardos, and people who like to eat Honey Nut Cheerios find you?
I can find it on Facebook /JV Vernola, Twitter also JV Vernola. We will be having the 11th annual Slave to the Deathmatch coming up on October 3rd. That will be on iPay-per-view and Fight TV. Man, where else can they find me? Twitch.tv /JV the 9.
And Scoop, do you have any parting words for us before we leave today?
One love.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, suck our balls. Thanks for joining us for another edition. We'll be back next week with Sexual Harassment Panda.
What is that? It's my bone. God damn it, Cartman. How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison? Holy shit, dude.